Hello there, world of tankers, and welcome to the channel. I'm your host, Droodles Blitz, and in today's video, we are going to be taking a look at the HWK 30. This is a Tier 8 German premium light tank, a vehicle that, to be honest, looks very similar to the RU-251, and most definitely should not be bought in its current form of crates. In today's video, I'll be reviewing the tank on a non-biased view, and talking about what I think is good, what I think is bad, and yeah, let's just get into it. I'm gonna be real. I'm not excited to spend 10,000 gold on just 5 measly crates. That's all I have right now. So if I don't get the tank in these 5 crates, I'm gonna have to be dropping a lot of money to get a tank that, to be honest, I don't care all too much about. There's 2 crates, 3, 4, and of course, well, I'm gonna buy, oh boy, these crates are expensive, aren't they? It's a freaking tier 8, and Wargaming's making me spend, let's see how much money. $60 for 12 crates! Oh my god, there's no way. Oh, well, it looks like I'm spending $60 for a tier 8, ladies and gentlemen, and that's not even guaranteed. It's, I'm pretty sure, 30 charms to get it guaranteed. Oh my god. If you're not subscribed to the channel already, make sure to do so for my pain and suffering of my wallet for today's video. Well, there you go, $60 down the drain so I could buy 12 stinking crates. I better get the tank in these 12, because I do not want to have to spend another $60 frickin' dollars. We got the camo at least. Another camo, no tank, oh boy. Oh, we got 10k gold, at least I can buy more crates with that. Oh, thank you, Wargaming, thank you. Hey, we got the HWK. Yay, only $60 had to be spent. Woo! Oh my god. That is insane. This is the most ridiculous thing I've ever seen. There is no way Wargaming is being real on thinking that they can sell a tier 8 for the same price as a tier 10. That is literally the most ridiculous thing I have ever seen. Wow, that is insane. They're selling a crate at 2,000 gold a pop. Actually, the most stupid thing I've ever seen. Well, I can tell you for a fact that I, as I said when I started the video, would highly recommend to not buy the HWK 30. While statistics don't tell you everything, they do paint a picture for how your vehicle is going to play and how you can compare it to other tanks similar in play style. We are going to be comparing the HWK 30 to the German Black Dog and the RU-251, both tier 8 German lights as well. Let's start off with damage per minute. Well, it's not a great look for the HWK 30. It's got less DPM than the Black Dog and a lot less DPM than the RU-251, almost 15% less. That's actually quite a substantial amount. When it comes to heat penetration, all of these vehicles are very similar. 281 for the HWK if you're running Cali, and 275 for the other lights, so really no noticeable difference there. When we take a look at the high explosive, it is also the same amount of penetration for all 3 of these vehicles. However, the Black Dog features much higher damage per shot at 320 rather than the 270 that the HWK 30 and RU-251 feature. That means that you have a massive 17% increase in DPM on the Lech Panzer over the HWK and even the Spa-Panzer RU-251. A great example of why I personally have always enjoyed the LEKPZ is just because of that insane hash output, which is, it's actually insane. Making our way down to the weapon handling, we can see the HWK 30 has slightly better accuracy and aiming time than the M4190, but to be fair, it features a bit worse damage per shot at 225 compared to 240, so it's justifiable that the M4190 is a bit less accurate. The RE251 is quite a bit worse on aiming time and a bit worse on its overall base dispersion. However, it features better on movement dispersion, which is something that Wargaming doesn't show you in-game stats. What that means is actually the RE251 is going to be probably better on move, trying to shoot at opponents rather than the HWK 30. Do I think that makes up for the other values? No, I definitely think the HWK 30 is much more accurate, especially because you can just put on V-stabs and then the tank will be much, much better on move as it is. So yeah, overall, I think the HWK 30 gun is going to be much better for not only sniping at distance, which is what the tank's going to be really good at, but just making sure your shots go where you want them to. Taking a look at mobility, it's a bit disappointing to be completely honest. The effective power to weight of the HWK is terrible. It's 27.9 on hard terrain and 25.4 on medium. Compare that to the M4190 and the RE251, and I mean, these vehicles absolutely smoke the HWK on literally every single terrain, apart from soft for the M4190, but soft is just water for the most part. So yeah, the HWK30 is not even close to as fast as these other vehicles. Even on top speed, it's the slowest of the bunch by quite a bit. So yeah, kind of disappointing there. Traverse speed, I mean, I guess it's cool, but it's a light tank at the end of the day, so you don't really rely on traverse speed to get the job done. Camouflage is quite nice at 31%. That is a big advantage over the M4190, but again, it's not something that's like super massive in tier 8 battles. Finishing off, we have the armor difference. The HWK30 does actually feature the most armor, sitting at 30mm on the turret and 45 on the hull. This actually means that getting penned with high explosive ammunition is going to be quite tricky for the HWK. Now, to be fair, it's not good. Like, this is what an RE251 looks like against, for example, an M26 Persian. And this is what the HWK30 looks like. Its lower plate is still a pretty easy pen. The turret cheeks are still pens with HE, and I mean, the sides and rear are still very easy pens. It's a bit tricky, but it's not that hard. And if we make our way to like heavies, let's pull out, I don't know, a T-34 and you load HE with this vehicle. I mean, yeah, the vehicle's still quite an easy pen on the sides, the rear, pretty much everywhere. You're still very easily going to cut through the HWK, but to be fair, that upper plate is quite nice. So using gun depression, the HWK will actually be pretty hard to pen with HE. Compare that to something like the RE251, and I mean, this vehicle has no armor. So that's your big advantage on the HWK, is that armor. Even say for the Lek Panzer, I mean, this vehicle, sure, its turret might be a little troll, but the hull is terrible. So yeah, I mean, to be honest, it is quite nice to have a bit of armor on a tier 8 German light tank. Do I think there's anything stand out amazing about this vehicle? No. I mean, I think the camo looks really cool, but the tank itself doesn't really have anything amazing going for it. The gun is okay, DPM's okay, the HE penetration is nice at 112, dealing 270 damage per shot. But is there anything to make this tank special or worth being sold in crates? No, not in any way, shape, or form. So it's a little insane to me that Wargaming, again, is asking tier 10 levels of money for a tier 8 that has literally nothing special about it. And don't get me wrong, I'm all for balance. I think that this tank is pretty reasonably balanced. I just don't think Wargaming should be selling it for as much as they are. That's the part that I highly disagree with Wargaming on. So in this first battle, up against us, we have a Chimera and a T-43 T-69. Okay, well, thankfully, we do feature 10 degrees of gun depression, which means we should be able to get at least, hopefully, an early game shot off if anybody decides to cross. But it doesn't look like there's all too much here. So let's move on up a little bit, see if we get detected. They don't have any tank destroyers, which is a bit odd, I'm not going to lie. So let's knock down this tree, and we did not get spotted, so we're going to pull a little bit into the tree. We're going to knock down the second one, and still not spotted, which means I don't think there's anything in that back bush. We're going to wait right here for now. There's the VK100, and nice shot into the side of his tank. Did we get spotted? No. So that means that their entire team must be camping off to the side. You can see that nice aiming and time and accuracy on this vehicle, though. It's quite well aimed in, which is actually really, really nice for a just gun in general. I'm always a big fan of accuracy, so this tank featuring pretty good dispersion overall is definitely a nice thing going for it. So right now we're just kind of waiting for these guys to make an aggressive play. There you go. One nice shot into the WZ-110. Now this is obviously where the RE-251 would be much better off with the higher DPM it features. I mean, you can see we really aren't shooting all that fast, but the accuracy is being quite nice, so I mean, I guess we got that going for us. We got the T-69 off to the side, who we unfortunately missed. We got the Chimera staring at us, so I'm not going to sit there and let him shoot us. There you go, nice shot into the T-69 once. You can see that our HE is able to cut through the turret cheeks. Unfortunately, the shell didn't actually go where we wanted it to. We got the VK100 in front of us here, and there you go. Again, nice shell into the VK. So, I will be real, the gun's accuracy is very nice. I mean, you can see its shell velocity is good, and the overall aiming time is very, very solid, allowing us to easily cut shells into our opponents. The penetration is super solid, able to cut directly through that IS-2. We're going to aim it on him again. There you go. Another easy pen for 230 damage into his vehicle. We're going to back on up. We're going to aim it again, and bonk. There you go. 236 damage shot into the IS-2. And, I mean, we're getting some big slaps out here. You can see the gun is very, very reasonably accurate. Its DPM, while not bad, seems to be good enough to get the job done. In this game, we've already been able to farm a pretty solid chunk of 2,400. But to be fair, that's nothing crazy. I mean, it's a decent chunk, but it's nothing, like, absolutely insane. We're going to try and get our first HE pen of the battle, which we were able to. Nothing insane on damage, but it still feels pretty nice to at least pen one HE shell this game. Yeah, thank you, IS3. Oh my god. Welcome to badplayers.com. Alright, well, we're gonna try and get some damage into the Chimera at this point, because these two players over here are really the only guys left that have HP. So, let's see if we can get to the rear of the Chimera. Let's get one shell into his tank. He does end up shooting us, but not much I can really do about that. We're gonna load some HE shells into the rear of him. There you go, nice 330 damage shot once, and bonk, there you go, another nice 250 damage HE. So, our first game, we did decent, 3,400-ish damage, came out with a victory. Not a bad result at all for the HWK. The gun definitely felt nice. Being able to hit our shots at distance with really relative ease was very enjoyable. And second class, I mean, that's actually quite a bit worse. I was expecting to pull out an ace, judging that this tank just came out. But, yeah, not a bad result at all for the HWK. So let's do one more game and see how it does again, and then I'll share my opinions on it. Here we are, second battle, another pretty solid lineup. Usually the first 8 games you play, you get pretty solid games in a vehicle. I'm probably going to stream this tank later today, so if you would like to see this tank played more in depth, and to get my full overall opinion after, 20 or 30 games, then I can let you know in the comments. Or not in the comments, I guess in the live stream. But either way, let's make our way right into this bush. I'm just going to wait here. I'd like to push up to that spot, but I've learned that tank destroyers and people camping in the back can actually shoot you pushing up there, quite commonly too. So I just go to this spot now. It's a lot safer, and you don't need to worry. So we can see that the Semovente has been spotted in mid. So at this point, with the T69 in mid and the Semovente in mid, it looks like literally nobody on their team has decided to go over here. So we get one nice shell into the Semovente, and let's see, we got the T69 off to the side. There you go. Nice shell into his vehicle. We also got the AMX 1390, and I mean, look at that. This is where the gun on the HWK does seem very nice, I will admit. The accuracy has been amazing so far. Having that aiming time and the overall, like, dispersion, look at that. Really good aiming time again. Just shells go exactly where I want them to. This is something that I do very much enjoy about accurate guns, is being able to always hit your shots, because it means technically you have more effective DPM than written on paper if you can hit all of your shots compared to other tanks, Because if I'm in an RE251 and I'm not hitting all of my shots every game, then I don't actually have as much DPM as the game says I do. But as we can see, I mean, I've hit basically every shell I fired with ease, and yeah, pretty good so far. We're up to 1,600 damage this game. Now, to be fair, pretty nice situation we've been able to get ourselves in here with nobody going medium side, so kind of a lucky game, but still, easy chunks of damage out so far. Got the Smasher in the back, we got the Semovente. Let's get a nice shell into his vehicle, and let's head over to the Smasher, because we all hate Smashers. It's literally just free damage to try and farm him a bit. That shell actually hit, I'm surprised, but it didn't actually end up penetrating the Smasher. Let's get one shell, try to track him, but that's all fine. It's not like he's really going to be able to do anything to us. We're going to pen a nice HE shell onto his tank. The Leo's going to get a nice pen, and we're going to finish off the Smasher. Alright, well that was pretty easy. We got the Bisonte in front of us, and we also got the Tiger. We're going to aim it on the Tiger. Bonk, there you go. One nice 248 damage shot. And if we actually get to the rear of his vehicle, as you can see, we can pen him with high explosive. Didn't really matter. We only got 190 out, but not a bad result. We were able to deal, I would guess, over 2,000 damage. We got 4 kills and came out with a victory. Let's take a look. 2,600 damage, so not all too bad at all. We also got a first class this game. So, at the end of the day, this is a very solid tank. The gun seems nice, which is rare when it comes to tier 8s. Usually tier 8s don't have the most accurate guns. But yeah, the gun on this vehicle seems really nice. The tank itself doesn't seem like anything amazing, though. It's just a nice gun mounted on a light tank. So, yeah, I mean, It's a cool tank, and it's not a bad vehicle. I still think I would prefer the Lek Panzer any day of the week due to the fact the gun is just flat better on this vehicle. It's got more alpha, which means that you can out-trade tier 8s, and especially if you get in the tier 9 battles, plus the high explosive damage is much, much better. So in the majority of situations, I'd much rather be in the Black Dog over the HWK 30, but it's a nice tank, I guess. It's definitely not worth the price. Just wait. Seriously, do not waste your money on this vehicle. It's not worth it. But hopefully enjoyed today's video. I'll see you all in the next one. Bye-bye.